into this game.
Yeah.
I mean, just for him to make those plays, you talk about the step you could take in the offseason. How big of a boost?
Oh, man, it's going to just confidence will grow. And again, you know, if we don't have the opportunity to create that, he's going into that game with nothing other than just, you know, he's never played in front of probably a crowd like that. You know, so spending his first couple years in a junior college and then obviously at SEMO. So, I mean, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. And for him to go out there and make some, and we really wanted, we kind of forced some things that way because we really wanted to, we need him. Like, we need him. I've said this a couple of times. You saw Cole Turner. How about the play Cole Turner made? And Cole, that's the first time he's practiced in about 2 weeks. He had a little just injury he's coming back from. So we had him on a pitch count today. So to see him go out there and make a big play, to see Tristan go out there and have the day that he had. Tyler Brown has had an awesome spring. You know, I think we kind of all know we've seen enough of 1 and 12 and 0 to know that, hey, them guys, they're going to be ready for the show. But we've got 6 guys in that core group that I think can all start. They can all play, you know, at a really high level for us. And, you know, but Tristan was the guy that really needed to kind of, you know, we had to kind of get him going. He's the new guy. And it's been a lot of pressure on him. But so for him to go out and do what he did today, that will really boost his confidence. And I'm just proud of him. He puts his head down. He's just a humble kid that again, doesn't say much. He just works. And as you see when you get up on him, he is long. And just what I, you know, saw on tape, I was like, you know what, this is the guy. This is what we need, you know. And he's just come in and bought in. And that whole little group has really kind of clicked well together. And they're going to need each other. And we're going to need all those guys. And so, you know, then you got some other guys that, you know, Parker Fulgham has had a good spring for us. Chase Bird has had a good spring for us. Marquez has not really been able to do much this spring, so we really haven't even gotten to first base with him, but we know he's a great athlete. We'll get Juju in here this summer as well. So it's going to be a fun group. We stay healthy, they'll have a chance to be a good group.
How about for Gideon, eye-opener for him to show off his ball-catching skills today?
Absolutely. Made some nice plays. And, you know, Denson, we got him in with early in the – we got all of our groups in there, but Denson is a kid that he may be really spinning, like, you know, but you don't ever see it and you don't ever feel it. He's just calm and cool all the time. That's one of the things I really like about him. He's got a ton of poise. He's got to develop his lower half when it comes to, you know, really delivering the ball the way he needs to deliver it, and that will come. He's just a little raw there, but he is smart. He understands and sees it, but he's instinctive. He obviously can really run, but he's just got a lot of poise, and that was really good to see that. You know, for him to go out there the first time and just kind of that ball he layered the wheel route to get out of the backfield, and he threw a nice other little back shoulder ball to get as well, kind of falling away from the defense. It was awesome, and then Gideon was great. You know, catching the ball out of the backfield. You know, he's got it all. I thought all the backs. I mean, we got to. Again, y'all, I know everybody's going to just question us all year, and I don't blame you. They got to go do it, right? They got to all go prove it. We can't just talk about it. We got to go do it. And but you know, from practice, from meetings, I mean, we're really encouraged from what we've seen. I thought Azuma May had a really good day. He's stacking days. He's had a couple really good days. Adam Randall has been awesome all spring. I mean, he's been really good. So I'm really pleased with him. And then Gideon has been great. Obviously, Jay Haynes, I mean, he was our most improved player last year. And he's out. Jarvis was having a really good spring, and he got a midfoot sprain, so he was out. But it's a good group. I mean, it's a really good group. Little Strecco gets in there, and, you know, Strecco's not big. He can be a tough matchup from a protection standpoint, so you got to, you know, be smart with how you use him, but he gets in there, he's productive. So, I mean, it's a deep group, and I think when it's all said and done, it'll be a very productive group for us throughout the season.
going back to Tristan, I think he dropped the ball maybe on that 72-yarder at the very end. You said, like, hand it to the official.
Yeah. We don't, that's just, welcome to Clemson, right? Been there, done that. Y'all remember when Ray dropped the ball? Yeah, Nate in the championship game, and they reviewed it, and it was like, so that's just something we coach all the time. So it was close, but you had a good opportunity to coach him right there. Like, go score, hand the ball to the ref, and let's go celebrate with our teammates. But it was a great play, unbelievable play. I mean, Gibson was right there. Gibson, I don't even think he knew what happened. He was like, "What just happened?" It was like, he's long. He is long.
You mentioned building up your depth for cornerbacks. How would you characterize the performance of Strozier, Gibson, Miles?
They've all gotten better. Still got work to do. Ashton, we had to. He actually kind of re-injured himself, and so we had to kind of get him cleaned up. So he'll be back, ready to go. But he was having a really good spring. I feel great about Ashton and AV, and we had no J. Lou this spring, so I think J. Lou gives us 3 really confident veteran guys that I think will be ready to play. And then after that, we gotta have some growth, and the guys are coming. They're not where they need to be yet, but we have made progress. And Strozier's one of those guys for sure. Gibson is definitely one of those guys. We need both of them to take that next step. Shelton was having a really good spring at nickel, and then he got hurt, but he can also go play corner. Tink has also had a really good spring for us. We feel good about the role that he's creating for himself, but we got to keep developing those guys at corner.
Was Tom Allin the booth or on the sideline?
He was up.
Was he calling plays, or was it Boulware calling on the defense today?
No, Tom calls it.
Tom, okay.
Yeah, Tom calls it.
Was it again for Alexander today? 7 tackles. Was he pretty consistent all spring?
I would say early he got more consistent. Early, again, new terminology. He's the hard part for him is over because he really hadn't really played backer, and he did the transition at Alabama, but now he comes here and he's still transitioning to a position, but now it's a new scheme and terminology and all that. So I would say he kind of gained his confidence and consistency as he went. I thought he had a really good day today. Made a couple of tough tackles. Keith Adams. Every time Keith. I didn't even mention Keith. He's hammerhead. I mean, he's just kind of. We have all of our backs, and then you have Keith as like his own person because he's just unique. And when he runs the ball, he punishes people, and I mean, he rarely ever gets stopped. And there was one particular play out there that 35 got up under him, and it was kind of like 2 bulls running into each other right there. It was good to see. He's physical. He's a thumper, and again, I thought he had a really productive day. He's put a good week or so together, and all those backers. I mean, it's been a fun spring, man. I think D has really improved. We haven't had Kobe out there. We 3 scholarship guys haven't been out there all spring. No Kobe, no Jamal Anderson, and no Logan Anderson, who's our signing, who we're really excited about. None of those guys were out there. So all those guys have made a jump. CJ Kubah-Tayor is a thumper. He's shown some signs. Woodaz is cutting down on his mistakes and getting better. And so the whole group, I think, took a good step forward. And then a kid named Fletcher Cothran, who's on year 4 with us out of TL Hanna. He's done a lot of work, and he's a productive guy. He came in here weak and probably about 199 pounds, 200. Now he's about 225. He's strong. He's long, and he's a hitter. So I was pleased with him. We got some of those guys, the depth guys that will probably have to be core special teams guys for us too. We got a kid named Roberto out there. Same thing. He's a kid that flashes. Had some offers coming out of high school. Wanted to kind of come in here and give it a shot. Griffin Batts, another guy that's played some special teams for us. So we kind of the back part of our backers. It's a pretty good group, and Fletcher's a guy that's kind of got up in there and competed with everybody. Sammy, I think, is taking a really good step forward. Obviously, Woodaz is a guy we really believe in. So the group has made some strides, but same thing. They just gotta keep doing it. It's a big summer. These guys have got to go through all the installation again. They got to go and get through all of our skills and drills. That's where a lot of the growth comes, and then just do a lot of the work on their own. I always tell them that that's championships are won and champions are made when nobody's watching. What are you doing in private? There's just a lot of work that everybody's got to do individually, and be back ready to roll in August. But I'm pleased with the work we got done.
Saw Mayo flash a couple times a day.
Yeah.
How's his spring been?
Yeah, he's gotten better and he's stronger. He was, obviously he's got great measurables, but kind of weak as water when he got here. Just a big, long guy, he wasn't able to come till the summer. So power hour was huge for him, and it's really paid off. I mean, he's strong, stronger. He has a much better understanding of what we're asking him to do, and just did what he needed to do. Everybody's either got an arrow up, they kind of stayed the same, or the arrow's down, and the arrow's up. By Mayo. And we didn't have Ari. We didn't have him out there this spring, but we know what we got. We're really proud of Will Help, and I think Jaheim has had a good spring. And, I feel good. Denhoff was having a good spring, and he had a injury that he had to deal with. So I feel good about the upper group. So we really forced the issue with some of those younger guys. Marcus Dixon, Darian Mayo, really challenging them. We got Armand Mason back. He didn't get the whole spring, but he got the last week or so.
Didn't see Tavoy Fegan out there. Any update on him?
Yeah, he just was not out there.
Coach, you mentioned Grady Jarrett being here. Do you expect any D lineman to be like Grady Jarrett, probably better?
Oh boy, I don't know about that. Grady's on the. He's kind of one of one. Grady's special, and I sure hope so. Though I hope we'll have some guys that have the. We got guys that have a lot better measurables than Grady Jarrett. We got a bunch of them. We got a bunch of guys that look like they need to be playing for the Bears. Grady don't look that part. He don't look the part, but he plays it. That's what's great about this game. You don't always necessarily look the part, but when they don't check your IDs on Friday nights, all right? They don't care if you're 14 or 18, who can play the game. And they don't check your combine, records when you step on the field, right? And that's just, Grady's just a baller. I mean, when he gets on the field, he's 6'5", 310, and runs 4.6. That's who he is. That's how he thinks. That's how he plays. He's special. So he's just. But what makes him special is what's inside. He's unique. That guy's wired different.
You said you wanted to see those young linemen in this environment. How did you think they did today?
It was good. They had a couple little hiccups, but it's just good to see Braden Jacobs out there. I mean, Lord have mercy. He's getting off the bus first for sure. He is a giant, and he's out there, and he's having to go against TJ, and he's going against Jaheim and all these guys, and really proud of him. I mean, those guys. Mason Wade, Easton Ware, we got Rowan Byrd, little Gavin Blanchard. I say little because he's small next to Braden, but man, Gavin Blanchard is a kid that's really done a nice job this spring. He's going to be a good inside player for us. He's tough, he's competitive, but it's good. I mean, you can't quantify that. To throw them out there and to get the reps that they've been able to get this spring is going to really pay off for us. Sadler is really good, but he wasn't able to go live this spring. Tristan wasn't able to go live this spring. We didn't have Walker Parks. We didn't have Watson Young. We didn't have Ian Reed. We didn't have Dietrich Pennington. There was a lot of guys. And so, but that freed up a bunch of reps for those young guys. And I mean, Matt Luke he rode them like mules. And they're all better because of it.
Your great performances on the offensive side, big stops, getting in the backfield on the defensive side. Which side of the ball would you say won today?
I mean, there was, the score. I mean, the offense won from a score standpoint, but I thought one real positive of the day defensively. First of all, they created 3 takeaways. They had some sacks and TFLs, but I thought the first group, they didn't give up scores in the red zone. They held them to field goals. That was really good to see. And I think there was one, it was either first and goal on the 1 or 2, and held them to a field goal. And that's an area that we have to be better at this year, is red zone defense and just holding. When you win on red zone defense, you hold them to a field goal. That's a win. You either get a stop on downs, you turn them over, or you hold them to a field goal. If they don't get a touchdown, that's a win. That's a win. I mean, people are gonna make plays and the ball will get moved. I mean, but you have to be able to be. And honestly, it should be the hardest place to score, because the field is small. There's no threat of running by you, right? It's a smaller field, and it's just we ought to be as good as anybody in the country. And so we've worked really hard on that this spring, and that was a real positive. So I thought there was just a lot of good. And again, we mixed and matched, got everybody the reps that we needed to get, all 3 offenses, all 3 defenses, and I think everybody that was on the sideline eventually got in the game, I believe. So it was just a good, productive day, and fun to see them compete in that type of environment.
How about being able to convert on 2-minute drill at the end of each half?
Yeah, that was good. The last one was a little funky because obviously you have the lead, so you don't, so we just said, let's treat this as an end of half. And, we probably would have clocked it on the 12 seconds there in the real world. Got the first down, clocked it, but we really, you think, okay, because you probably could 10 seconds still get 2 plays, but it was good. It was a good experience. That all worked out really good. Just naturally, we got some good 2-minute opportunities, and we made it a normal clock when we got in those. There was some running clock in the second, third, and fourth quarter, but when we got into 2-minute drives, we just let it be normal. So you keep creating good habits.
You talk about the impact of the 2 big transfers today, Smith and Alexander. Talking to Smith earlier, he said just from Jump Street from day one, first meeting with you, he knew this was the place to be. What does it feel like knowing to get 2 key players from a FCS and a Power 5 school to come here and just make an impact right off the bat?
Well, I mean, we if you're gonna take a guy out of the portal, I mean, you should, if we get it right, we're gonna get a guy that's gonna come help us. And it's not, again, we're a developmental program, and as long as we continue to get the top high school kids that we want and bring them in here and develop them, last year everybody said I need to get rid of Cade Klubnik, and we're never going to win with Cade Klubnik, and he's terrible, and Swinney's crazy, and needs to go get this hot shot quarterback. And well, now everybody says he's that front runner for the Heisman. It's amazing, that's what I hear, and that's what I told Cade. You better not listen to none of that. Don't listen to all that crap last year that you ain't good enough to get it done, and don't listen till they tell you you're the Heisman guy or you're the whatever. All right, just do the work. All right, and so again, as long as we're getting guys that we think will come in and buy in and develop, that's always the route we go. But if you get a gap in your roster and you have kids leave post-spring, or like happened last year, we lose a kid, boom, there's no high school kid to go get of the caliber that we needed, hey, we'll use it. We'll use the portal. And again, we've signed, 5 guys in 5 years. It's probably the fewest of anybody, but they've all fit our need, and they've all been exactly what we needed. And again, we needed a guy just like Tristan, long, a guy that had some confidence, a guy that had some production, and but a guy that also, not coming in here, thinking he's just going to show up and be the guy. Like, we got guys here. We need him to come in here and go earn it and prove it and compete and really make the group better. And that's what he's done. Jeremiah, we were not going to take a linebacker. We probably were going to take one in May. That was originally what our thought process was. We were going to go through the spring, but when he came available, it was like, well, let's see if we can get that guy. So he's a perfect fit for us. Tristan was a perfect fit for us. Culture, our process isn't any different. And then, when we lost an end late, there's nobody of that caliber to get. I was like, well, let's look at all the ends. And I thought Will Helt was the best one. And, and we got him. So it just shows that, our process works regardless, whether we're recruiting a high school kid or we're recruiting a portal kid. You know, we're trying to get the right guys that really align with who we are, how we go about our business here, what the expectations are, what our core values are, and also, you know, fit the role that we need them to.
Do you expect the spring portal, maybe an addition, go out and get an addition or two?
Yeah, we don't need anybody right now. We feel good about where we are. You know, it's something that, but that's where I'm sitting here today. Ask me next week. You know, I mean, who knows? Those are, you know, things you just have to respond to. But if everybody stayed, everything stayed the same today, we feel good about our roster. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're ready to go to battle with the guys we got, and let's go compete. We like our guys. So, you know, I already got to cut guys. You know, I got some walk-on kids that aren't going to be back, and you know, so everybody stays, I'd have to cut some more. But you know, if we tried to go get some other guys without guys leaving, so we'll see. I mean, who knows? Who knows? We've been really good with retention, and I would expect that to stay the same. And you know, maybe there's a couple guys that move on. I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea. And I don't lose any sleep over it. I really don't. So whatever happens, then we just go respond to it, and we can, and we will. But we'll see.
You talked about
Marquez earlier. Did he get to practice with you guys at all this spring?
Like 2 days. Like 2 days, maybe. I don't even know if he got 2 full days in. So he still don't know much about him. Juju was here today, so he'll be here. He'll be here this summer. But it's unfortunate. Really don't know much about him.
How do you feel, or how do you assess the punter position coming out of spring?
Competitive. It was competitive. You know, they couldn't punt it to my little man Harrison like I wanted to at the end. Spiller got my little man Harrison ran up in there. He was ready to go. 8 years old. 8 years old. He's like, I got it. But it's been competitive. It's been competitive. So more work to be done there. But we like our guys.
How huge was the spring for some of the defensive tackles? Burley, Brown Schuler, Adams with the injury
Yep.
to starting DTs.
Same thing, no K part, no Steph Allin, so those guys kind of out of the way. Really forced the issue with Amari, with Burley, with no Champ Thompson as well. It was great for them. We needed Vic Burley to take a step forward, and he definitely had the best spring he's had, the best 15 days of football practice that he's had. So that was good to see. Heaven has shown some grit and some toughness. I think he's taken full advantage of it. Amari is, he's going to be a good one. So I think that group all benefited from it. You know, Peter got the work that he needed to get, but the whole group, was just incomplete. But it'll pay off in the long run for those guys with the amount of reps that they got.
You talk about a coach being here 22 years, speaking of yourself, and being down there with CJ. I mean, just think about since 2003 to today, and you're standing next to a guy almost 20 years ago. You went to go see down in Florida, and look where you are now. I mean,
Yeah.
Try to wrap it all up, and it probably feels like a blink of an eye.
Yeah, I met CJ when he was 16. Recruiting him down there. But yeah, I mean, I walk in today, and the first people I see Kevin Youngblood and Aries Curry. And, so when I came to Clemson, my first spring, I came at March of 03, spring ball, my first receiver room was Kevin Youngblood, Aries Curry, and Tony Elliott, Curtis Bayham, this guy named Derek Hamilton they called the Noodle. I mean, I had some dudes. And so, all of a sudden, here comes Youngblood. And I tell you what, Youngblood and Aries look amazing. They look like they could play today. Now, Youngblood's got a little gray in that beard, but they look great. But it's just like, it seems like yesterday. And that's what's so great about our job that I get to do is, in our profession is, I see Kevin Youngblood, I see Aries Curry. It's just like yesterday we were sitting in the meeting room together. It's just like that. It's just an instant connection. And that's really special. It really is. And that's what this, business is about to me is relationships, and just, I love all my former players, and it's awesome to see them. We had a Letterman golf tournament yesterday. I got a chance to see a bunch of those guys. Yeah, it's just a blink of an eye. Yeah, year 23 coming, season 23 coming up, and it literally seems like yesterday. But again, that's the way it should be. If you really love what you're doing, and you just put your head down and just, you know, as I say, just bloom where you're planted and be great where your feet are. It flies by. But the relationships are just special. I mean, it's just special. All the players that have come through here, and getting a chance to see so many of them today, it's awesome. Saw Rook was here today. Nate was here today. Just a lot of fun.
This is kind of a random question, but talked to Kate Klubnik about the Warrior Night thing that you flew out to Austin
Yep.
for. How do you sneak away kind of in the middle of spring practice? Like, why is this?
I'm organized. I'm organized. I do a 13-month calendar every July. I do a calendar every July, plan every day all the way through the next August. Like this fall camp that we're getting ready to do, I planned it last July. So, you know, if you're organized and you're efficient, then, you know, that's just how we are. It's been on the calendar for a long time. I'm going to Tupelo. Oh, my Velvis. Thank you very much. I'm going to Tupelo, I think, next Thursday. So I do a couple of FCA events a year, maybe a church, and that's about it. I mean, I say no way more than I say yes, and I'll do a couple other speaking engagements. But, you know, every time you say yes, it pulls you away from what I need to be doing and where I need to be. And so, but I know I have a responsibility as well to you know, use my platform, but also to, you know, just honor God, and that's really what I try to do. So that was an awesome opportunity. I mean, it was, I don't know, 3,000 men and their kids. So that was pretty cool to go out there and be a part of that with Cade. So it's just, again, just organize, put stuff on the calendar, and I put time to think too. You know, I think you got to put that on the calendar, like think time. You don't have that, you just, it all gets cluttered. So just efficient and organized, what we do.
When Kate said you were supposed to speak for like 25 minutes, you went for 50.
Well, that probably doesn't shock y'all. Yeah, probably doesn't shock y'all. I mean, but I you know, listen, I'm passionate about what I do, and certainly passionate when I get a chance to talk to 3,000 men and their sons about a relationship with Christ. I'm passionate about that. I ain't gonna miss that opportunity. You know, that's just an amazing opportunity. And again, whether you got 3,000 people or I'm, you know, in Myrtle Beach speaking to 300 a few weeks ago, you know, if just one person walks away, you know, with you know, wanting to grow in their faith or meets Christ, in my opinion, that's worth my time, for sure.
You've already talked about it, but, you know, especially in the running backs room, Keith Adams, you know, great day today. What do you look forward to seeing him going into his junior season?
Yeah, just being him, you know, just put his blinders on. He's going to have a role. Just be him, you know, and just buy into what we need him to be.
Go 2-3 more for Coach.
This Chris Vizzina, it seemed like they had a pretty good day.
Really good day.
How much, in what ways do you feel like he's grown from last spring game, you'd say?
Just, I mean, confidence, just awareness, ownership of the offense, understanding of everything. And again, he's just physically been able to get the reps. Last fall, his first fall was just mental reps. And so last spring was really the first time that he got the work. And then he got all the twos in the fall, and just, he took a big jump at the latter part of the season. The last 4 or 5 weeks, he got all the 2 minutes. And, you know, we just tried to ramp him up, and then we've really done the same thing this spring with him. And he's responded. And I thought he was awesome today. I mean, he made a couple big time throws. He can make the throws. He can run. He's a big kid. He can move. So I just think it's slowed down for him. He needs to play. He's got to just keep going. But he is, I think, one of those guys. Certainly the arrow's up, but I think for him, he's coming out of spring with his confidence really high. And that's exactly what we needed. So just got to keep going. Just got to keep moving forward.
Coach, Tom Allin has really been big on fundamentals and tackling. What did you see out there today, and did you feel confident about where we were leaving the game?
Yes, I think the guys have really bought in. That's been fun to see. You know, just how they've held him accountable for everything on that side of the ball has been really good. I think he's just I mean, he's very attentive to all the details. I love that. He's a great leader for the coaches too. I mean, he's high energy every day, smart. But it's been really good. I mean, we've worked really hard on the tackling. You saw some explosive hits out there today. But, you know, and again, we've worked hard on the red zone. We've worked hard on some situational stuff. But again, very incomplete defense. A lot of guys not available. But, you know, so more work to be done. But as far as what we could get done with the group that we had, I would say, you know, certainly, you know, job well done by Coach Allin.
What did you see on Cade's interception in the first quarter? I guess he rolled right in kind of.
So like a bad throw. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. They brought a field pressure, and I think he kind of just got outside of it and just, you know, who was that? That was Khalil, right? Yeah, they were mad at me. I put them in the yellow jerseys too. Him and AV, they were like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah." Just so y'all know, don't tackle nobody. I put them no tackles. So we were thin. You know, we got so many guys out. I was like, man, just like them two, let's just don't tackle. But everybody else needed to be full go. But I think he just made a bad play. Came right back, boom, went down the field, did a nice job.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.